Welcome.
Welcome to the Hangout. Hello. I didn't do a sound check or anything, so I don't know how my mic is, so I'm just gonna let her do a sound check while I'm talking right now. But hopefully we're good right now. So hello and welcome to the Hangout. It's a brand new show. Same person, same dude, different show now. We did Bird Talk before. Now that football season's over, we're gonna switch over to something a little different, a little more to my liking, I guess. And thank you. Good performance by the dance studio next door. If you heard them, awesome performance. But every week we're gonna talk about something a little different. Today we're going to talk about cinematography, actually. Next week, I don't know what we're going to talk about, honestly. We may be talking about space. We may be going to talk about the greatest band in the world, Led Zeppelin. We may talk about Salvador Dali and how he changed surrealism forever. We're not talking about origami. We'll talk about Japanese art, maybe, but not origami. Well, I guess we'll touch on origami and the Japanese art. But every week's gonna be a different topic to talk about, little discussions. But like I said, we're gonna talk about cinematography today, and if we can pull up the two-shot we can say hi to our special guest in the audience, because like I said, it's called The Hangout, and we're here just to hang out and talk. So, what's your name?
I'm Nicole Bailey.
Ah.
Nicole A. Bailey for being formal.
I'm just a film major, you know? We're living life.
A little angsty there?
Yeah.
Moving your legs and
Stop.
everything? All right, if we can go back to me real quick. Not really me, but if we can start on the first image, and I'm gonna show you different camera angles and how they correlate with the story that you're telling, and how to make use of all the camera angles that you have to your liking when directing or just cinematographing a film. So to start out, the first one, we have an extreme long shot or extreme wide shot. And this is not an establishing shot. We'll talk about establishing shots later. But for now, what the extreme shot really is you can make it to make your subject feel distant or unfamiliar.
Wow.
Just wow? Yeah. So right here, what we have is, I don't want to call it Max Fury.
I think it's Mad Max.
Mad Max, that's good. Mad Max Fury Road, that's it. Mad Max Fury Road. And what it shows, just those tiny little ants that you want to call it, those are cars. And they're racing to go get water. But it just shows you how massive this storm is that they're going into. Or you can have, maybe it's like a Moby Dick kind of thing, and you're on a ship, and it's coming against this massive wave. And you can just show how massive this wave is compared to the tiny little relation to the ship. And that's what it's doing right here with the clouds compared to the cars. But again, it's an extreme long shot, extreme wide shot, and you can use this for a variety of different things. But like I said, it can also make your subject feel overwhelmed by its location, as you can see right there.
Yeah, no, I mean, I just think the shot's beautiful. I think Mad Max was absolutely beautiful in general with its cinematography. I mean, like, if you look, like, this shot, like, in general, it's just absolutely gorgeous, especially with the VFX that's being used. Like, I think I wanted to get into VFX at one point, like, because, what?
Is her thing not going up and down again? Yeah, stop being anxious. Stop being anxious.
No, like, is it working now?
Is it working now?
No, yeah, like, I think I wanted to get to VFX at one point with 3D, like, with Blender and everything. It was just hard.
It is hard.
Yeah, and I'm like, you know, I'm not really, like, I'm artsy in film, you know, and, like, with shots and stuff like this, but it's just the amount of effort that you have to put through it. It's insane. And just, like, props to the people who made, like, Mad Max and, like, you know, getting that general, like, feel of the area, like what they did here.
Yeah. I mean, you can use this shot for a variety of situations, but something like this is what we have up next, which is called a long shot. And the difference between a long shot and an extreme wide shot is you can see your character in the shot, and you compare your character to the surrounding environment that this person is in. So right now you see the movie Martian, and you see him surrounded by just empty vastness of nothingness, and he's looking around at nothing really. So you're comparing your character and to the scene that he's in.
I ended up doing one of these shots from the film. Yeah, so me and the host of the Hangout, Joshua Martin, we did a film yesterday, and basically this is one of the shots that I used to establish the scene. Because in the beginning, it was a short film, two people, and I wanted to establish the location that they were in. So I used this shot, the wide shot, and so I made sure you see both people, you see the location, and you see what's going on the table in front of them, and that's exactly how I portrayed that in the film.
Yep, and then the difference between an extreme wide shot and a long shot like this is a long shot gives us a better idea of the scene setting and gives a better idea of how the character fits into the area. Because an extreme wide shot, it's more to grab you inside and make you feel something, while the long shot is just giving you an idea of where this character is and the setting and the environment that he is in, really.
Yeah, plus I think extreme wide shots also portray the beauty of areas.
Yeah.
Because I know, like, sometimes if you're in like a really nice location, like let's say you're in Alaska or something, that you could just like get an extreme wide shot of everything, and it'll just be absolutely gorgeous, and you'd be like, wow, that is
And
beautiful.
We'll talk about establishing shots later, but you can use an establishing extreme wide shot, like you said, to show beautiful mountain scenery, like a drone footage or something showing beautiful scenery, or just showing the location where they are, you know? If we go to the next one, we're going to zoom in a little bit closer, and we're going to go to right here, which is the full shot. This movie right here, Django Unchained, it shows the full image of the character from head to toe, and it shows basically who you're going to mess with during this one particular scene, you know? Let's see. Full shots can be used to feature multiple characters in a single shot, or it can show a single person like this. If you've seen Guardians of the Galaxy, that's one of the examples on this website. If you want to go to that website, it's called Studio Binder. But in Guardians of the Galaxy, where they're all lined up, and it shows every character from head to toe, you just get to see, you know, the full character of who they are.
Yeah, I think what this like shot really shows is that like his outfit, like that's what I'm drawn into. I'm drawn into the scenery. It really shows me like where this time period is, especially with the everything in the background, and it also shows me his outfit. It just really gives the time period, and I think it's a good like establishing shot. I know wide shots are used, but like I think this is perfect to show his character and where he is and from.
And then, like I said, we had the full shot here, which shows head to toe. But if we go to the next one, it's kind of the same thing. But I mean, like I said, every single shot that you do in a movie counts. Every single second, every single frame counts, and it all messes with the viewer's eyes and what they're seeing, what they're believing, what they want to think when they watch this film. So we have a film right here. I mean, it's different from the last one, but it's kind of the same because it doesn't show the toes. This one's called a medium wide shot, and this movie's from The Usual Suspects. Very important scene right here in the movie if you've seen it, and it shows all the people in the lineup, but you don't have to see their toes. You know, it's more interactive because you're a little closer to them.
Yeah, what I'm
But-
getting with this is like you can definitely see all their characters. Like you can see that one of them's like has a red collar that really stands out. One of them looks nervous. The other one looks a little bit shy. The other one kind of looks done. You know, like why is he here? And I think it's a good frame to like show expressions and everything and show like who these characters are.
Yeah. I mean, you get to really also with this. I mean, this particular shot. If I don't think any of us have ever been in a lineup before, I hope not. But I mean, if you're behind, the glass or something, this is kind of what you see, really. So it's a kind of cool interaction because you get to be a part of the lineup. You get to be a part of picking out who did who and what did what. And if you go to the next one, it's kind of similar between a medium shot, but this one I've never heard of. It's kind of cool. It's mainly used in Western films. It's called a cowboy shot.
Cowboy shot.
Yeah.
What? Why did they? Do you know why they gave it the name cowboy shot? Because like, did it start with a cowboy, or?
Well, it started in Western films.
Oh, so it's just okay.
What it kind of is, it's kind of like a medium shot. So it's above the knees. What it mainly tries to show is the hips to the head.
Yeah.
And it's the character walking, and for most cowboy Western films, you know how they're gunslingers. They have things on
Yeah.
the side.
Yeah.
So they want to show their hips.
Oh,
and
yeah.
The weapons that they use. So like Wonder Woman, she has the lasso on her hip, and it's
Yeah.
kind of a cool cowboy shot because she has her weapon by her side, and she just looks very not menacing, but like very
Powerful.
powerful, cowboyish, very rebellious.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, because you don't want to cut out the good part, especially with like I think that's everything, like getting the gun out of the holster, very fast.
Yeah.
So I think that's very
Because
interesting.
if you show this in a full shot, she looks a little too far away.
Yeah.
If you show it up in a close shot where it's just her face, it's
You're missing
kinda
out
weird.
like
You
on
don't
everything.
know what's going on. But if you show this quote unquote cowboy shot, you get to see the weapon, the quote unquote weapon that she's using. Plus, you get a little intimacy because you're a little closer than a full shot as well.
Mhm. You learn something new every day.
This is why you gotta tune into the Hangout.
Gotta tune in.
You gotta tune in. And then the most basic camera angles is the next one up next. It's a difference between a medium wide shot and medium shot. This is a medium shot. The medium wide shot we saw was with a whole character list of people, but this right here is a medium shot. It's kind of the standard in filmmaking. You just get to see the character for yourself. He's up close and personal with you, but not too close and personal.
I think the
And-
shots are really nice, especially because if you've never seen X-Men, then you would. If you've never seen X-Men, then you wouldn't know who he is. But with this shot, it's so obvious that he's the villain. Like you see that expression on his face, and then all the chaos in the background, and the helmet really sells it as well. So I think, it's not just the camera shot that gives it that feeling, but it definitely helps.
Yeah, and definitely we were talking about with zooming in more, you get to see more details on these characters' outfits and everything else. And with the medium shot, you're probably going to use a higher
Frame rate.
focal length
Yeah.
on the camera. So it's not going to be a very warped image. It's going to be very static, pressed on. So you're going to definitely see the difference between the character and the background, and they're going to really pop out with the medium shot because you're probably going to use an 85 millimeter focal length, most likely with these type of shots. If we move on to the next one, like I said, we're just going to keep getting closer and closer to these people.
Gotta zoom in on them.
Next
Get that
one
emotion.
is a close-up shot.
Yeah.
Now we're getting into more of artistic directions, if you want to call it, because we're not going to establish a close-up shot most of the time. Like I said, we're going to be establishing a medium shot. That's kind of the standard shot in filming. But the close-up one, it's to show emotion and reaction. And this is kind of where the actors shine out. This is where they get their Oscar nominations because this is where they talk with you one-on-one in the movie, really, because you're with the character.
What movie is this from?
This movie is from The Usual Suspects as well.
Never seen it.
I've never seen this one either because I didn't know where this shot is from, but yeah, this one's from The Usual Suspects. Well, like I said, the close-up camera shots fills your frame with a part of your subject. If your subject is a person, it often shows their face. But yeah, it just shows emotion and reaction to whatever is happening in that specific scene.
Yeah. What I love about close-up shots is me personally, as doing photography as a hobby on the side, I personally just love the bokeh of the background. The blurry in the back? Yeah, that's that. And I just find it so pretty. And if you look at that, it completely blurs out the back. So it really brings forward the person's emotions and what's happening there. But like you said, it's literally where you get Oscar nominations because it takes a lot of talent, just to start crying, because I know a lot of actors, I think they got their Oscars by like crying in a close-up shot, like with all
Well,
those
that's
details.
it's kind of the hardest thing too for an actor because it's literally just them on the screen. I mean, it's just them. One thing I did forget. This is a good example of the golden rule, or the 2/3 ratio, whatever you want to call it.
Rule of thirds.
The rule of thirds.
call it.
I mean, it has so many names. Because that's one thing I forgot to put in this episode. But you don't want, when you frame objects, you don't want them to be framed in the center, unless you're. Who made the Grand Budapest?
Oof. I know this. He also made Fantastic Mr. Fox.
Yeah.
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 Ronald Dahl? Is that no? That I don't think it's Ronald Dahl.
Oh, this. Oh, okay.
I know. I think he made the book. Ronald
got
Dahl
it.
made the book.
I got it. All right. So let's go back to that one shot. The one thing real quick. So you don't want things in the center unless you're Wes Anderson.
Okay.
Unless you're Wes Anderson, because he likes to balance things out, and you got to watch The Grand Budapest, you got to watch Isle of Dogs, you got to watch all of his films to really understand what I'm talking about, because he loves to balance things out. But for the most part, you want to use the rule of thirds and have things off to the side just a little, for everything can feel balanced. That's what you want in a movie. You want things to feel balanced.
Yeah, unless like the person's like looking dead on into the camera or something.
Yeah.
But
But then we got, well, speaking of which, we got the close-up, and the next one after that is the extreme close-up.
Whoa!
So what this is, it's way more intimidating.
I love the X-Men.
I mean, yeah. Please don't use an extreme close-up unless you really need to, because this is where it really impacts you, you know.
Yeah, like just the emotion in his eyes are absolutely insane. Like you can tell, like he's been through some stuff. Like I honestly think I forgot what's his name. Yeah, but Magneto, I think he deserved to be an Oscar just for this. If you like, those eyes are absolutely beautiful, and it's just a nice close up of what he's going through. You could tell with the little bits of specks of blood on his eye that it's just something happened. It's a nice way to show. Like what I get from this clip is that he's been through like defeat. This is him getting defeated. Either that or something that he doesn't like is happening at the moment, and I think that's just beautiful.
And you don't have to use an extreme close-up. You don't have to use any of these on just humanoid figures. The extreme close-up. You can use an extreme close-up on, I have an example here from Black Swan, if you've ever seen Black Swan.
I also have an example.
Have you seen it?
No.
Oh. There's a scene where, I want to say ScarJo's the main actress in that one. But she's quote-unquote growing her wings, and she's peeling off these black little wings on her shoulder blade, and it's a very extreme close-up, and you can see it coming off like a scab kinda, and it makes you tingle a little. Or if it's a mob movie or someone's getting shot, you can have an extreme close-up on the person pulling the trigger to emphasize that one specific action, you know?
Yesterday, I think I had an extreme close up in my storyboard, and it was because just the little origamis.
Mm-hmm.
So the film was about this guy getting bored and making like a whole bunch of origamis while the other person's like paying attention to the computer. So at one point, a whole bunch of origamis are placed around the guy's computer, and so I just wanted to zoom in onto the origamis, and so like it shows this small little thing, and then just you change the, I forgot what it's called, but you move the focus onto the person being like, what? Like, what is this small little origami? But I just think it was a nice shot of the thing, and then to the focus of the person being like,
Well, that's what you can use. You can use the shot in comedy as well too, because you can have like two people talking or whatever, and say they're talking in front of a receptionist or something. You have these two people talking about complete nonsense or something, and then you cut the camera to the receptionist, and she gives you this like blank stare look. I mean, it adds a little comedy effect, because you're like, what the heck is going on, kind of.
yeah.
But what all of these shots need to start out with before starting that specific scene, because a scene is a specific number of shots taken in a specific place. So
Yeah.
to establish a scene, we need first go to the next image, establishing shot.
Whoa! No way.
So if you know this specific cafe, you're a beautiful person. Do you know what this cafe is?
Can I take a gander?
Yeah.
Seinfeld.
There we go. Okay, at least she got it right. If you've seen Seinfeld, if you've seen Friends, if you've seen a lot of these sitcoms, before they start to go into the cafe or they start to go into their room in Friends or in the office, they always start with these shots outside of the building because it's called an establishing shot. You want to know where this next scene is taking place. You want to know where it is, what's going on. So for Seinfeld, we know that they're going to be in the cafe, so we're probably going to see these people join in. Or if it starts out in a dentist's office, we may see a dentist. We're not going to see an archaeological digger in a dentist's office or something, you know?
Yeah.
So establishing shot, I mean, it's what it says in the name of the title.
I do
It
also-
establishes
The scene.
the scene.
Yes. I do also want to say, like, I feel like looking at this, I could just hear the jingle. Yeah, yeah. I think that's with a lot of comedies though. They have the jingle like of location. So I guess next time you're watching, you know, like the thing you see the establishing shot and then you hear the jingle.
Sitcoms do it best with these. They really do. But if we go to the next one, I don't know what the next one is. Here we go. Now these are the shots that I love the most because Stanley Kubrick and Alfred Hitchcock really perfected these. Another one, if you want to watch, Citizen Kane broke all the rules of filmmaking. A lot of the cinematography there is beautiful. But if you want to watch any Alfred Hitchcock's, Psycho, The Birds, a lot of these camera angles that we learned today came from these films. But this one right here is such a beautiful shot. This is called a low angle shot. Low angle shot. And what this does is it's also called a superhero shot as well too, because you're looking up at the person. You're kind of intimidated by this person because they're looking down at you, you know? So it's called a superhero shot too because, you have Superman standing high and mighty and you're looking at him because he's like this god and he's a super powerful person, you know?
Yeah, sometimes how I perceive it, it's like you're the villain and you're kind of like on the floor and you're like looking up like, oh my god, like Superman just beat me up or something.
Well, I got something next after that. Because you will see these a lot in, like I said, superhero and action films. But it establishes a cool shot because you look at these people and they're kind of all almighty. But if we go to the next image, it's kind of the complete opposite. This is called a high angle shot. So it's the same concept but flipped around. So
Yeah.
this is where you're looking down at the person. You're making this person look very, very, very small. So example right here is we have in the Avengers, they're looking up at these massive aliens that are coming in and ruining this city. And they're like, oh my God, we're just small little creatures compared to these
Yeah.
giant, magnificent things, you know? So they feel intimidated.
Yeah, you could definitely tell that there's something like crazy going on, especially on their faces and just the angle, you know, making them look like small little ants.
And then the next shot is my favorite shot of them all. I don't know why I love this one.
You know, I did kind of look it up. It was the Dutch angle, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So we have the Dutch angle / tilt shot right here. And this is probably one of the most stylistic approaches to cinematography. And what this shot does, it establishes an uneasy, certain feeling. You feel like something is not right, like something is not settling good with you, you know? So obviously the shot right here, I believe it's when he's chumming the water and a shark comes up. he's never seen Jaws. He's never seen the size of this shark that is messing with his beach. But once he finally sees it, he gets intimidated and he gets scared and he goes, oh my God, we're gonna need a bigger boat. This shark is way too huge. So you establish this Dutch angle shot to make it very unsettling for the viewers, to make it seem like, oh my God, I don't think they can do what they're supposed to do. They might actually just die out on the water right here and then, and the shark is just gonna win and keep winning, you know?
Yeah. Does the Dutch angle stay like that? Is it like medium shots, like where it just stays like on the side, or is it like kind of move?
You can keep it there, but for what most people do is they start out heavy or they start out soft, like a normal shot, and then they get increasingly more of a Dutch angle. They rotate it even more to make it even more.
Yeah, like it starts out, and then it's like
ominous.
your world is going like sideways, I guess. Because what I was thinking, like I think in like Tom Cruise's the one with the planes.
Oh, not Mission Impossible.
No.
Top Gun.
Yeah, Top Gun. I think they did use a lot of that when he was in the plane, but I don't know if that was to show like the lag of the plane, like how it was shaking, or that was like an actual Dutch angle there.
They
How,
maybe
like
showed it because they were up high and
and it was
the
shaking.
turbulence of the
Yeah.
film. But what they use it a lot in is Harry Potter.
Harry Potter.
Harry Potter. I don't think they use any in it in Star Wars because Star Wars is a very static. It's more of a beautiful scenery kind of thing. But Harry Potter, when Voldemort shows up,
Yeah.
they do a lot of Dutch angles and
Yeah, I think I
turn shots
remember
like
that.
because they want to show how menacing this villain is. They want to show that these people are scared. But like what we're talking about right now with cinematography, not these people are scared, but you do these angles to scare the audience as well too. You want to feel the emotion of the character. And then I think we have one more to end things up. No, I don't. No, we don't actually.
What's that one?
So this one is
Two shot?
It's called an over-the-shoulder shot. And what this is, there's two things that you have to learn with the over-shoulder shot. There's a rule called a 180-degree rule. So you have a character here and you have a character here. I wish I pulled up an image of the 180-degree rule, but if you have your camera, say you have object A and object B, and your camera's here. If object A is on your right side, you want to keep your camera where your subject stays on the right side. You don't want your camera to go on the other side because then it messes with the viewer's eyes of where is this character at. You want them to stay in the same kind of location all the time. I wish I pulled up an image of the 180-degree rule because it's hard to explain, but there was a beautiful graphic I wish I pulled up. Just look up 180-degree rule and you'll understand why the over-the-shoulder shot is a good one. But this one, it just shows the interaction or the communication with two people.
Would have been nice to know yesterday.
Huh?
It would have been nice to know yesterday when we were filming.
You should
I
know
know.
everything.
You could have told me though. You'd be like,
No,
oh,
you
yo.
did. I wanted to watch you direct.
What did I do good?
Yeah, you did.
Okay, cool.
But yeah, this just shows communication with just two characters, really. And then we go to one more, and this beautiful, beautiful thing right here. It's called a dolly zoom. It's kind of the same thing with the Dutch angle. It's more just straight on, more impactful a little bit. For the example right here, he saw a kid or one of the people on the beach being attacked by the shark. And his whole world kind of changes right then and there. So, like I said, the whole world changes. So behind him, I don't know how to explain.
Yeah,
it.
like how do
so
they
beautiful.
do that?
You want to? I know how to do it. You want to know?
You know how to? Yeah, yeah.
Okay, it's easier to explain how to do it than it is how to describe it because it's a weird shot, but it's
Because
so cool.
like it looks like the background zooming out and the like foreground zooming in.
Almost. Kinda.
Almost. Okay.
So what you do is you grab your camera. You gotta have to have it on a train or something to make it very steady when you zoom in. But you walk with it zooming in,
Okay.
and while you walk with it, while walking with it zooming in, you want to zoom out on the focal length at the same time.
Okay, yeah,
Okay.
like on the aperture, or like zooming out.
Zooming out on the
Oh,
focal
okay.
length. So you get more closer to your subject, but the surrounding environment widens out.
Okay. Okay.
So kind of like, I don't know how to explain it, but yeah, you want to just slowly zoom into your subject, and while you zoom in, or while you go on the x-axis of going inward
Yeah.
on the camera, you want to zoom out with your focal length.
Okay. I'll remember that.
It's a fun shot.
It
I was trying
looks
to do it on
fun.
my skateboard, like, and I would sit down on my skateboard and I
Yeah.
would zoom into my dog. I mean, it doesn't work, but it's kind of cool once you finish it out, because you don't need special effects or anything. It's just you need a camera. That's about it. I know, we're wrapping things up. I mean, I think that was the last of it. Just check out more of your camera angles, and they're so important to storytelling. They're so key. That's why you always want a good cinematographer with you at all times, and that's about it. So this is kind of what the Hangout's going to be. It's just next week we're not going to be talking about films at all. We're going to be talking about something completely different.
Origami. No, I'm just kidding.
Not origami though. Let's actually pull up the 2-shot real quick before we can say bye to our guests.
She said no.
I don't think she said
No. I guess no. Just kidding. She didn't say no.
All right, say peace out.
Peace.
That's it.
I don't know.
Okay.
I had fun. That was really good though, because it was entire 30 minutes. You
Yeah,
know,
it's
I didn't
smart,
feel
right?
it. Yeah,
I'm
kind
actually
of. You're all
knowledgeable.
right.
All right, we'll see you guys next week, 11 a.m. on the Hangout. So
On the
peace out.
Hangout. Peace.
Thank you for watching The Hangout. If you want to be on the show, just contact me at 888-994-4995 Studio A. Thank you.